Number 6, obtain and organize the information based from your sources, analyze and interpret. Ito yung sinasabi ko, since this is problem-centered design, siguraduhin mo, in-introduce mo, meron kang maliwanag na pagkakaintindi dun sa problema na pinapakilala mo sa kanila. Puntaan mo, dolomite kang dolomite, ayaw mo naman pala baling resa-resa. May kay dolomite ka mo kasi ito yung usuking news. Kaya tayong baling, pag may ngutang lang ninong head kim programa yan, no ka rin desile, ala ka nga sagot. Okay? No, it's not like that. Research on the problem as a teacher so that when they provide solutions, you know how to filter which solutions are applicable and which solutions are not. Po tating mamaya solutions, group 1 na. Ay sir, muntaing solution po kayo, muntatamon king Manila Bay, isa ko talang din dolomite, nako talala no nga gawa, itang bandang bebeng yan. Solution niya naman, milo ko yung kaya, pero it's the wrong way. So you should know how to filter as a teacher. Hindi lahat ng solution na ibibigay nila expected ay tama at applicable. Your work as a teacher is to identify which one is applicable, feasible, and convenient, and practical. Okay? Next, kaya naman, for example, halimbawa, nung alala kong pambangan ingredients, okay? What will you do? Mumukanta pag magluto kayo. Mag-suggest na mo, mananam. Kaya ba't bukas na yung okasyon, kunyari? Mananam lamokan. Tami tubuya. Solution naman, ba't tumubuya again? No. Pero naman nung kabuti niya, pwede niya. Kabuti nga niya pag yun, Okay? So those, if you are using problem-centered design, you must be wise enough as a teacher to filter those solutions they are suggesting. And you must have the mastery of the problem. Kaya ka mag-introduce the problem na emobalo. Lamit ang tinuro kang math mag-introduce kang problem, kaya ba't nang solving na, alala ka nga contribute. O kumbaga yung gawa mo na, okay, ninong many ko ang sagot na 6, impya ka marakala sagot, since marakal na rin sinagot 6, okay, since marakal na rin sinagot 6, okay, thanks itong sagot 6, mo na mo. Kung para kalan na mo kaya, sinagot kitang number 8, and then it thinks, no, it should not be like that. Okay? Okay, present a report to the class individually or by group, evaluate conclusions, and then explore other avenues for further problem solving. So as a teacher, I repeat, nandun ka sa dulo, binigay na nila yung solution, you make a reflection, you make a synthesis out of all these solutions. Alamin mo yung pinaka-best, pinaka-the best, the better way, the most plausible way to solve the problem. Okay? So those are the 11 steps to using the core design of a curriculum. Next. Find out elements, components of curriculum present in the syllabus or plan. Identify the curriculum designs used and point out, alita na gagawan ni kasi makalinag kayo gawa ko lesson.
Sir.
Yes,
Sir, excuse me po.
Daliya pa po may lipating slide.
Yung 1 to 5 pa rin po.
Opo.
Okay. Lilipat pala,
Ayan.
Lilipat na?
Opo, sir.
Okay. So, alita na gagawa ni, this one will not be done. We'll just focus on lesson planning. Basta pag may tanong kayo, tanong niyo. Okay. By the way, ito yung standard format na meron sa public schools na naka-DepEd memo. Familiar kayo? Nakakita na ba kayo ng lesson plan, ng lesson log sa public school? Hindi pa.
Hindi pa ako nakakakita ng lesson plan.
Hindi pa po.
Downloading a lesson plan from DepEd or from public schools, ito yung format na sinusunod nila. Okay? Hindi siya kapareho nung ginagawa nyo when you are doing your demonstration. Ito siya. First, ayan, statement of the objectives. And then the content standard, performance standard. Nanula rin standard na rin, sir. Then, ikukopyan na lang walking curriculum guide. Ing A ang popaing. Okay, content standard, it's subject-centered. Okay, the standard of the subject. Performance standard, and the word performance, what do you expect from your learners after learning the content? Well, how are they going to perform? So, doon ilalagay yon. So, kinokopya lang yan sa curriculum guide. Ito yung ginagawa ng teacher, objective. Next, the procedure part. Karakal na, sir. Di ba kaya ita motivation, presentation, generalization, at nala rin. Wala takakarapat. It's part of the job. Okay. Review previous lesson. Establish a purpose for the lesson. presenting example or instances for the new lesson, and then discussion. Okay, ganito siya. In summary, review or yung tinatawag na motivation. Okay, statement of objective, kasama na siya ha. Importante na ilalahad mo sa mag-aaral yung objective nyo sa session na yon. Hindi pwedeng hindi nila alam kung para saan yung dinidiscuss mo o yung tinatalakay mo. Okay? Okay. Discussion of steps. Okay, for skill 1, skill 2. Nung pilan lang skill data, then you will have additional parts for that. Okay? And then developing mastery needing to formative assessment. Application of concepts and skills in daily living. Hindi pa yung generalization. Making generalizations and then evaluation and then additional activities for application or remediation. Dito naman nilalagay yung assignment, okay? Or if you have remedial classes, dun sa letter J. Okay? That's the procedure part. Sir, in evaluation, actually yung procedure part. Yes. Okay? It's already part of the procedure part. And then dun sa dulo nun, yung part 3, yung tinatawag na reflection. Karin niya yung mag-reflect yung teacher na pilan na rin may pasar, kabit mo na, pilan na rin may bagsak, pilan na rin mangailangan remedial session. Okay? Na yung strategy yung ginamit mo. Ital, weekly mag-reflect ka. Okay. That's the lesson plan in public school. Okay. Principles and dimensions of curriculum design. The 4 elements of curriculum remain as bases to be considered in designing a curriculum. But if you're going to focus on the principles and dimensions of curriculum design, we focus on the following. Okay, we have scope, we have sequence, continuity, integration, and balance. Sir, nalo rin. Or and then criteria when you are designing a lesson plan. Na dapat when you design a plan, consider the scope, consider the sequence, consider the continuity, consider the integration, consider articulation, consider balance. So sir, yan po yung maging criteria na mo pag chinek yung lesson plan may yes. Okay? Unang criteria yung model na pipiliin nyo. Okay? Pangalawang criteria, yung mga principles na yan. Okay? I'll check the scope, you check the sequence, be sure that the continuity is right, integration is right, articulation is right, balance is right. Sir, nanula rin. O Reni pa. Ako excited. Scope. Scope refers to content, topic, learning experiences, and organizing threads comprising the educational plan. Very simple. The scope, tungkol saan ang ituturo mo, up to what extent, anong mga skills ang involved dyan, ano ang sakop, ayan, sa Tagalog, diba, yung sakop ng ituturo mo for that day. What are the skills, what are the content, what are the activities? That's what we call scope. Okay? So when we talk about scope, what do we consider? Ito yung mga tanong mo sa isip. If you're talking about the scope of the content, isipin mo, kung yung content ba na ito, tuturo ko sa isang oras, kaya ba? Ayan. Kung yung topic na ito, ituturo ko sa 1 week, tama ba yung 1 week? Kasya ba? Okay? Knowing learning experiences, the activities, paggawa kayo mo may activity ngayon as my motivation, sakto ya ba yung 5 minutes? Akmaya ba karon yung topic ko? So, nung ganyan na activities, will it be enough for the entire scope of 1 hour or 60 minutes for the session? Yun ang mga tanong mo. Okay. Scope does refer to, okay, tell me whether this is true or false. Scope does refer to cognitive content and not on affective and psychomotor content. Daylene, what's your guess?
Scope doesn't refer to cognitive content. False?
Okay, false. It's about cognitive, affective, and psychomotor content. Okay? Na pag dinevelop mo yung objective mo, yung scope niyan, laging 3. But I repeat, there's some instances na meron yung isa, mawawala. That's also possible in some topics. But as much as possible, you integrate always the 3 as part of your scope. Okay? Maturity of learners, complexity of content, and level of education are important consideration in the determination of scope. I will answer this one. This one is true. Okay? Pota yung scope na ning tuturo mo na grade 6. Okay, but tuturo ka yung pang-college libreng gagamitan mo. Ito yung scope mo, kaya ang maturity dan? No. Okay? That's also part of the scope. Next is what we call sequence. What do we mean by sequence? Okay? Sequence is the logical arrangement of the content. As simple as that. No makanano mo lang i-arrange din turo mo on how you are going to present okay, what you are going to teach to your learners. Okay? Sequence may be, number one, simple to complex learning. Example, if you're teaching mathematical operations, umpisahan mo muna sa simple, addition pa, subtraction, multiplication, and then tauliyaing division. In sequence, from simple to complex. Hindi pwedeng magkabali-baligtad yung mga yan. Next is prerequisite learning. From the word prerequisite, merong requirement na skill bago mo ituro yung isang skill. Example, before you ask your learners to play basketball, teach them first how to dribble. Okay? Teach them first the technicalities, the skills they need to, in order to play basketball. Aliway tang, yan yung bola, mamyalong kayo, and then lesson you basketball. Mamyalong na kayo, basta't mag-basketball ko, okay, napin na ito. No. There are requisite skills. Na bago mo siya turuan na, kunyari sa baseball, okay, i-target yung bola, turuan mo muna kung paano siya sumapo ng bola. Okay? These are requisite skills. Katulad, di ba? Bayo na kopa pamipyan mayu, ating pang requisite skills. Pagluglugan ng kopa. At ang mamang ba kopa, kibat ditak-ditak, lalapit na ako kimbat siya. Di ba? Budol pa yan eh. Bubudol na kayo pa lang man. Papunta na pala king mastery of dishwashing. Until such point that you learn the skill in dishwashing. Next, whole to part learning. What do we mean by whole to part learning? From big idea to subtopics. Okay? From big idea to subtopics. For example, the systems we have in the body, yun munang in-introduce. But after that, i-introduce na si digestive system, si respiratory system, at iba-ibang system, nervous system, at kung ano pang system sa katawan ng tao. Una mo nang pinapakilala dyan that we have the body, we have the system in our body. Okay? Next is chronological. That means in sequence. It is in sequence. Okay, magkakasunod. Chronological, it's in order. Okay, referring to time. Example, pwede kasi dyan yung chronological. Pag ituturo mo yung puno, it could be from top to bottom or bottom to top. Diba? Mula sa ugat hanggang sa bunga. Okay, kung flower yan, umpisan sa loob, papunta sa labas. Okay. Sequence, to provide continuous and cumulative learning, a vertical approach relationship among the elements of the curriculum provides for the sequence. Contents and experiences are arranged in hierarchical manner. When I say hierarchical, from the basic going to complex. Okay? And you already know about this, what we call vertical approach. Okay, vertical approach relationship among the elements of the curriculum, which provides for the sequence. Diba? From grade 1 to grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6. Yung vertical approach. Pag in-arrange yung mga topic, depende sa kakayahan ng isang grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Kaya mapapansin nyo, as we move to the ladder, mas nagiging complicated yung mga topics na dinidiscuss. Okay, next. We have different types of sequence. We have word-related sequence, concept-related sequence. We have inquiry-related sequence. Now, what do we mean by the following? For word-related sequence, okay, your questions are the following. What relationship exists among people, objects, or events of the world? How can contents and experiences be arranged so that they will be consistent to the world? Okay, it could be about space, it could be about time, it could be about physical attributes. So it's about the reality of the physical realm. It's about the realities of the world. Example, if you introduce the content and you arrange it from earliest to the most recent, okay, or from first to the current. Kunyari sa mga pambansang bayani, di ba, laging nag-uumpisa dun sa dulo, sa una, sa mga bayani, sino na kasi munang tuturuda? Lapu-lapu. Yung pekamatto, karang heroes, right? So doon umpisahan hanggang doon sa latest. Kung presidente yung pag-uusapan, pwedeng sa latest hanggang doon sa mga previous. So that's what we mean by this one. Okay? And it talks about time. Okay? At the number 1 is on time. Next, introducing Emilio Aguinaldo before Benigno Aquino. Okay, this one is also about time. Kasi, president, yung from the early moving to the most recent. And the recent one, most recent one is Duterte. Next, teach the part of the plants from roots to the stem. It talks about the space. Okay? Sir, makana naman yung physical attributes. Okay, it's about the appearance of the person. Like, if you are going to identify the school, saan mo umpisahan? Di ba? If you are going to identify the face, where are we going to start? Okay, that's for physical attributes. Or, depende sa kind. Halimbawa, yung tinuturo mo, group of mammals, group of blah blah. Yung pare-parehong itsura, yun mo na ituturo. Nung bulaklak yung pisabihan, kaya taka pang bulaklak. Okay? Next, concept-related sequence, which could be divided into two. It's either class relations or propositional relations. Okay, teaching of the characteristic of the group before the teaching of the characteristics of each member. Where can we align this one using context clues, Nicole? Is it class relations or propositional relations?
Class relations.
Okay, correct. Okay, teaching the characteristic mammal in general. And then, munta nakakareng tao. Individual characteristics dareng tao. Okay? And last, evidence is presented before the proposition. This one is propositional relations. Okay? Like before you let them conclude, provide the evidence first. List the evidence first. Okay, inquiry-related sequence. This is based on the scientific method of inquiry or the Socratic method. It could be, I repeat, it's based, when you ask questions, you base your questions on inquiry. Na umpisahan mo muna sa basic, moving to complex. Di ba bago ka mag-introduce ng topic, may mga patanong-tanong ka pa? At pag nag-generalize, if you generalize on the last part of the lesson, sunod-sunod yung mga tanong, they are in sequence until they reach the conclusion part. Hindi pwedeng bira ka lang ng bira ng tanong sa bata. Lahat ng tanong, pinagplanuhan at magkakasunod na yan sa plan. Okay, that's inquiry-based related sequence. Okay. Number 4, learning-related sequence. This is based on the psychology and how people learn, like empirical prerequisites, familiarity, difficulty, and interest. So this type of sequence, you are sequencing the content based on the ability of the mind to perceive things. Example, pag gustong matutunan ng bata ang kunyari currency, saan natin uumpisahan? Siyempre, kung saan siya familiar. And that is peso. Hindi mo pwedeng umpisahan sa dollars. Umpisahan mo ang pagtuturo ng tungkol sa currency sa pera using our currency. Kasi doon sila familiar. And that is peso. That's what we call familiarity. Okay, that's number 2 is familiarity. Starting from easy to difficult. What is this one? It's based on difficulty. Okay, you sequence based on difficult items. Teach catching and throwing the ball before batting. That is empirical prerequisite. So, sinequence mo yung content, inuna mo to, kasi alam mo, ito ay requisite skill dun sa batting the ball. Okay? Empirical prerequisites. And last, number 4, use students' interest and curiosity to arouse their appetite for learning. That is, of course, interest. Okay? Next is continuity by Jerome Bruner. Are you aware of the spiral curriculum? No, makibat kayo, 3 minutes tana mo. Are you aware of spiral?
No, sir.
No.
Kita mo yan. No. Akalingwan niya. We are using the spiral curriculum in K-12 program. In the K-12
Yes.
curriculum. Okay. Paano siya nangyayari? Pansinin nyo ngayon sa high school. Okay? King high school, King math, it's not pure basic math. Sa mathematics ng grade 7, alam nyo ba, may statistics na. Okay? Sa science nila, meron ng chemistry, ang grade 7. Sir, makanta dati, pang third year yung chemistry. In physics, pang fourth year. Yan na, it's spiral. Kumbaga, yung basic topics nilagay na sa ilalim, and then, lumalaki yung idea as they move to the ladder. So, sir, bring mo sabihan in chemistry from grade 7 to grade 10 na. Yes. Okay? But, yung mga topics na inintroduce dun sa grade 7 are the basics of chemistry. Okay? That's what we mean by spiral curriculum. So, anything can be introduced, kasi sabi ni Brunner, anything can be introduced, okay, to a learner. Just make it sure that it matches with their abilities. Sabi nga niya, di ba, kaya kong gawing architect, pwedeng ituro ang architecture sa grade 1. But of course, on the level of the ability of a grade 1 learner. Okay? So that's what we mean by continuity. Okay, integration. And value naman ng integration. Everything is integrated, interconnected. Life is a series of emerging themes. So when you design your plan, integrate it to the other subjects. Hindi lang English. Integration na ngayon lagi. Na pag nagturo ka ng math, laging integrated yung ibang subjects. So sir, pantunan mo lang king lesson plan na gawan. May yes. Okay? From the first one up to this one. Okay, next is what we call articulation. It could be horizontal or vertical. And syempre, value ng horizontal and vertical. Number 1, level to level or grade to grade. That is horizontal or vertical. Jessamine.
What?
Sige, Jesh.
Horizontal, sir.
Okay. Is it horizontal, level to level, grade to grade? I'm giving you a chance to change your answer. Yes, Jessamine.
Mana, sir?
Ay, ano, sir?
Grade to grade, level to level siya. So grade 1, English 1, ay pag gumawa ka ng English 5, titignan mo muna yung curriculum ng English 4, ng English 6.
Ay, hindi, sir. Vertical po.
Okay, it's vertical. Patayo siya, no? Kasi pataas. It's horizontal kapag yung subject of the same level. Like, nag-integrate ka ng social studies subject sa science, kunyari, na grade 6 din. Okay, that's what we call horizontal integration. And next is balance. Yung tanong dyan, how do we create balance? Nicole, baka na nung mag-balance, Nicole.
Kaya ano po.
In lesson planning, ano pa balance yung lesson planning?
Parang ano sir, hindi naman lahat kailangan ilagay doon, ganon. Or i-balance yung mga, ay nabalo.
Hindi lahat kailangan ilagay doon. So you're talking about the activities, no?
Puro
The
si Nicole na lang kasi. Bibigla siya sa'yo.
No, kunyari, eto. Pag sinabi mo balance, kailangan lahat ng subjects pare-pareho ng oras. Is that balance?
Yes,
No.
sir.
Jess, no ako na, may guess ka pa. Bawian ming sinabi mo, Jess, didinanda kang pagkakataon, bawian.
Yes, sir. Yes.
No, hindi ibig sabihin na balance, yung pare-pareho yung oras, no? There are some instances kasi na, kunyari sa high school, ang ESP 2 araw lang. Ang English 4 na araw. Ang math 4 na araw. Ang science 4 na araw. Araling panlipunan 3 days. Why? Bakit ganun siya? It's unfair, sir. That's what we call balance. Kasi napag-alaman sa mga examination, achievement test, na mas nahihirapan sila doon sa mga subject na 4 na araw. Okay? Yapin, sir, nung yung anak, kunyari, dininan kang more time for tutorial kasi magkasak yung math. Diyan ako dininan ding aliwa. Balance ita, sir? Yes. Okay? Pag mangabit kong oras king motivation, king activity sa pagawayo, king discussion, itang time frame na 10 minutes niya mo kaya kayong presentation mo o kaya motivation part is only 5 minutes. That's balancing. That's the element of balance. Okay. Now, for the preceding slides, just read the following. Okay? For sure naman nakuha nyo rin niya. At mag-recap na kayong sarili nyo. Sagutan nyo rin. Okay? Pakaabi ako rin king quiz na divinandan akong preview. Sige na mo, mag-sample tang metong bay tama bate. The 3 subjects which are given emphasis in basic education are science, math, and English. It's so because of empirical evidence and actual observation that students perform low in these areas. What dimension, curriculum design dimension is considered? Scope, sequence, integration, articulation, continuity, or balance. Sagot. Ay, what? Ang LG mo king screen, no?
Facebook. Facebook.
Balance po.
Okay,
Balance
correct.
po.
Wow, biyasa na. Thank you for those answers. Narinig. Tama ang sagot nyo. Okay. In college, there are courses that have to be taken ahead of the others. What's the answer?
Sequence.
Okay. Ay, wow. Sige, maniwala na kayo na agyo yung independent learning. Ako metod na kiramdam kayo. So, sagutan nyo na rin. And these things, yung tatlong to, 6 features of curriculum, you already know about this one. And this should be present, I repeat, in your curriculum plan. Okay. Next week, you are going to present, how many groups do we have? 6 groups? 7? Okay. Each group will present their lesson plan. Sir, mag-present kami. Ali ko mag-demo na mag-present. Mag-present. Sir, makananita. Of course, you will show your lesson plan. Okay? Through the PowerPoint presentation. Pipili kayo ng isang presenter yung magpapakita ng screen, syempre, yung maka-assign. O kaya tinina mo. I-send yun lang ako para ako na mag-present. Pata magulo-gulo balda kayo karakas. Pag maglipat-lipat ng share screen, tanang baling paman